Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Vinland Saga Season 2 episode number 11 reaction. Alright, the previous episode we get to see Thorfinn and Einar. Both of them has finally able to clear all the trees and their freedom is almost at the horizon. And furthermore, Kettle said that, all right, you know what, you don't have to wait for the harvest, just sow the seeds and you'll get your freedom. So that's the case. Now, not only that, Kettles did say that if after I come back, we'll do that. So for now, Kettle has gone to meet King Harold. While in King Harold's place, we get to see Canute is here. So I'm guessing something will happen, like we're getting like a connection. Canute, Kettle, and under Kettle is working Thorfinn and Einar. So there's like a connection I can see. So I'm guessing something will start now. Now that like the freedom is almost at hand, I feel like something's going to go down. Either way, in Canute's part, we get to see a little story about King Harold, how nice of a person he was, and how much of a loving brother he was. Unfortunately, here we get to see like Canute being the person who wants to unite the whole of England and everything. He has poisoned Harold, and Harold is dying, and like after he dies, he Canute has like decided to unite everything so that like he can uh completely take out war from the whole thing, like unless and until the whole thing is united, wars will continue. So that is his plan. And we can see the curse of the crown, his like the curse of the crown, his dad King Sven is like laughing at him and taunting him. Now what's left to see here is that will he be able to keep his like keep to his ideals, or will he actually fall for the curse of the crown and become as power hungry as his dad was? That's for the future. But anyways, let's see what happens in this episode number 11. Let's begin. I'll be putting the subtitles in the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Hmm. What's happening here? Kings and swords. Oh, that's what's her name? I forgot her name. Canute's brother. All right. Yeah. Okay. Damn. Oh, nice, nice dodge. Hmm. Well, yes. I'm pretty sure she'll freak out. Gunnar is here. Estrid, that's her name. Wolf, that's his name. Okay. Damn. Nah, I'm sure he knows, how to. Yeah. True. Hmm. And this is also like like a he's proving. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, look at them. Look at them. They're like judging him. Like, this is our king. That's why he has to show them. Interesting. So, okay, wait a minute. Oh, he is tricking him to lower his guard. You idiot. Ooh. Alright, not every time this will work, Canute. I guess, he did use his brain. However, like I said, not every time it'll work. In front of actual enemies, I guess. He's a beginner, so. Yeah, he just. Yeah, investigate. Okay. Hmm. Oh, what about Gettle? Yes! There you go. Nah, knew it. Alright, Kettle is coming here. So, yeah. I. Okay. Exactly. Like, they'll be like, oh, he became king and he suddenly raised the taxes. Hmm. Money. Yeah. Makes sense. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I can see that. But that'll make him, like not liked by the people of Denmark. More land. Yeah, it'll take some time. Farmland without development. Wait. Yeah. Long discontent. Kettle's land. I feel like something's going to happen to Kettle's land. Yeah, I wonder why is he not reducing the army? Like, I guess I can see that. All right, makes sense. Mm. Hmm. Okay, so he's saying requisitioning land. By that I mean like getting hands on land which are already like developed. That's what I gathered from that. So the only thing like I said in the previous episode, I was like, there it must be like a connection. Kettle is coming here, like Canute is here. So obviously under Kettle, Thorfinn and Einar is there. So some way or the other, I'm getting a feeling that Thorfinn will probably meet Canute again or something like that. So here we can see Gunnar even mentioned Kettle, so obviously Kettle will play a big role here. I can see that. And he's talking about requisitioning land. So Kettle has a lot of land. So I wonder if he'll actually put his eyes towards Kettle's land and like seize them or something. I don't know what he's going to do. And maybe that will bring a conflict between Canute's Canute's army and maybe Kettle. And Kettle has his own bodyguards, but obviously he's the king of England. He's going to become the king of England. So I don't know. Maybe this will bring a conflict. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. He got the news. Hmm. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we don't have phones. We would have gotten information then, quick. Oh, he's depressed. Because he's the one who provided protection. He's. Hmm. Oh, he's directly under him. Interesting. Ah, I feel like Canute plans to get his land. Hmm. I feel like it'll backfire. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, great. Hmm. I don't think so. Well, let him experience. I guess. Great. Who is this? Oh boy. Ah, it's in the mud. Ah. Ah. Great. Well, a lot of pampering. Typical thug. Okay, I don't think you can win against Olmar. Because, yeah, like. Okay, do not take your sword out in a fist fight. That's actually pathetic. Don't do that. Yeah, you pulling out a sword in a fist fight? Oh boy. Hey yo, your sword. Oh no. Oh no. Daddy's here. Yes. Damn, that's a lot, I feel like. Ooh. It's like, yeah, this is worth 10 of them. Wait, who? Oh, it's his dad. Wait! Wait, is this Leaf? Wait, that's Leaf's son? Oh my god. I was wondering, he looked like Thorfinn a lot. Like, this guy. Wait a minute. So I thought, like, maybe, like. Interesting. Oh, adopted. Okay. He looks a lot like Thorfinn. Yo, look at him. He really looks like Thorfinn now that I look at him. Wait, what? Wait! Leaf? Oh my god, what's going on here? Oh boy. Is he going to ask about Thorfinn? Let's see. Yes. Yes. Ooh, okay, here you go. Yes. Except the eyes. Yes. Okay. Does he know that? He doesn't know that. Oh, he met him by the same way. Okay. Okay, so he'll tell the story. Hmm. Oh, is he going? Yes, come on. Yes. His eyes, I can't. 5 days. Little money. Oh, he knows him. Okay, okay. Come on, come on. Go to Kettle's place. Oh no. I'm sure Leaf will not give up. He's like a. Yeah, Canute wants to meet Kettle now, like because no, because he has, oh god, a conflict will start. I see that. I feel that. Oh boy. Yeah, this is the king. Hmm, okay. Okay. Feel like there must be some catch. What are you doing? What is this? Oh, he wants to join him. I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah, I forgot about that. That's why. All right. Thorgil is like, what? All right, don't take your sword out of in front. Are you idiot? His head is going to get lopped off. Oh no, he's going to embarrass himself so much. I feel like. What he's going to practice in here? What? Yo, he's like, cut my dinner. Oh no. Okay, nah, it's not happening. What are you doing? This is not how. Oh no. Everyone. Okay, well, you failed. Kettle is like, it's over. Yeah, and that's just a pig. That's not even a. Oh my god. Wait, what? Canute is planning something. What's he planning? Yeah, I see. I can see that. Oh God, this poor kid. Yeah. Oh boy, Canute is planning something. There we go. Mm. There you go. There you go. Uh, if they go to Kettle's farm, there you go. Well, this is obviously this was how it's going to go. Okay, this is very interesting because to requisition the farm, obviously they'll have to go to Kettle's farm, and if they do that, Thorfinn will be there, and that'll be interesting. And Thorfinn has said that he will never harm any other person from here onwards. So what I envision is obviously Canute will take his army and probably go. And first, obviously, he'll probably tell Kettle to you know what? I don't know what he's planning to do. Like I was going to say, he will probably tell Kettle to give the farm to him, but no, he's just maybe he'll not go in that direction. Maybe he'll take some other steps. Not sure how he's going to do it, but obviously this will start some kind of a conflict, I'm guessing, and obviously Thorfinn is there, so Thorfinn will get involved in that conflict, and he has said that he's not going to take up the sword ever again. So yeah, let's see. Okay, is that it? Right. So this episode. Um, Okay, so we begin this episode with Canute fighting a practice battle with Wolf. I think that's his name. So they're like having like a sword fight, and Estrid comes out, and Estrid is like freaking out. It's just like, oh my god, my brother, like, and so Wolf, obviously Wolf is a very, I'm guessing, a very veteran, like soldier, like a good warrior, that type of person, and he's fighting, and he's like taking, like giving his full, while Canute obviously is not that much accustomed to the sword, and he's he's doing pretty well, for someone who hasn't really fought that much. He's like dodging properly. He's like like properly, like obviously I guess him being a king candidate, he definitely was like given fencing lessons and like sword play lessons and stuff like that when he was a kid. So from that, I'm guessing he's like kind of emulating that and like protecting himself, dodging and stuff. And you can see everyone is like looking at him, judging him, like everyone's like Norsemen. So yeah, definitely someone who can fight, to them, that person is like a proper leader. So their king, if they're not able to fight, that in itself will be something that they won't be happy about, and they will be reluctant to follow that person. So obviously, I'm guessing this was like a way Canute was trying to prove to them that, oh, like I like, and I'm not afraid to stand in the battlefield, that type of thing. However, Wolf was pretty much like dominating the air arena, and he's like just attacking him, and Canute was like drawing back and panting, and Wolf was like, oh, if you need to, like like in these type of situation, you should not draw back because it'll lengthen the battle and it'll make you even more tired, so you shouldn't do that. While Estrid is just freaking out, and Estrid is like, oh my god, are those real swords or something? Either way, Gunnar comes in, and Gunnar kind of like, like talking to Estrid, like saying how, like, a king should be powerful, this and that, like the more stronger king is, the more the people will follow them, that type of thing. And obviously these are Norsemen, so yeah, that's even more like important, being strong and being a warrior. So Canute can see that the whole situation, like everyone's like looking at him like and kind of judging him and him getting defeated. What he does is he uses his brain, and he tells Wolf that, oh, like, I can see Estrid is here, so I'm trying to, like, fight properly. And after that he suddenly says like, oh, I can see Estrid is, like, talking to the person, to the man beside him, pretty, like, like they're having like a very lively conversation. Now I'm guessing probably Wolf likes Estrid or something like that, and what's his name? Can you knew that and use that as an opportunity to let him lower his guard? I love how Canute says that, and Wolf is like, kind of stops for a moment and suddenly quickly, like, looks at the side, and immediately he sees the shield come towards him. He thought Canute has come towards him with the shield, but he didn't realize that he threw the shield. So that even, like, flusters him even more, and he kind of, like, like gets a little bit surprised. Using that opportunity, Canute, like, gets the sword and points it to his throat. There you go. Yeah, like, to everyone it seems that he has lost. So everyone's like, damn, that was crazy, like, King Canute, like, he's a capable man. And a few of them was like, what happened to Wolf? Why did he suddenly get distracted? But either way, nobody knows what happened, like how that went. Now, obviously, in this situation, I would say this was an appropriate and proper, like, way he kind of handled this situation. However, in a real battlefield, obviously it wouldn't work like that. But if you think about it in another way, I doubt Canute will need to, like, actually, like, fight in the actual battlefield. Like, and if that type of a situation comes, then it's pretty much, like, like game over. Like, if a situation comes where Canute has to come down and fight, it's pretty much game over for his kingdom. I'm pretty, like, because yeah. But either way, seeing how he, like, dealt with this situation using his brain, you can understand obviously this is how Canute does stuff, and makes sense that he used this to his opportunity to make everyone, like, all the other people a little bit more respectful towards him, and that type of thing. So it worked out. Obviously his goal here was to not defeat Wolf, but to make an impression in front of everyone, and he was easily able to do that. So either way, after that, Gunnar comes in, and I like how he just throws away his, like, he just throws away his sword, like takes his glove out and, like, throws it down, and Wolf is like, please don't do that, like, Your Majesty, don't throw your sword down like that, because, I guess it's like a way of, like, disrespect, I guess, because for Norsemen, like, swords, armor, and stuff, these are stuff that people entrust their lives to. So throwing them down like that, kind of, it's like a little bit weird. Anyways, Gunnar comes in, and Gunnar starts talking about the situation, about how they are lacking in funds. Makes sense, like, with the whole, like changing of kings, this and that is happening. It's a difficult situation. There's not enough funds. Now the fact, what they can do, two things here, which Gunnar kind of tells Canute. Number one is that they can increase the taxes. Number two is something that wait, I think, yeah, one was increasing the tax. Just a minute. Wait a minute. Just a minute. Let me. Okay, no. First, Gunnar says that he has, like, taken out a few, like, kind of picked out a few of the people who are rich, and he says if you were to squeeze any of the men listed, will at most get 3,000 pounds a year. Besides, that's our only option, is to raise taxes on the. So there you go. These two, get money from the rich people, squeeze them dry, kind of, while that or taking, raising the taxes of the overall population. Now raising the taxes in this situation is pretty, uh I guess you could say dangerous to do, because people will not be happy about it. Like everyone will be like, oh, he became the king of Denmark, and suddenly he raises the taxes. King Harald was a lot better than this, that type of thing, like it's going to happen. So that's a bad idea in this type of situation. So the only thing left is, taking more money from the rich. And here Gunnar kind of recommends, like, oh, this guy Kettle, he's a good, he has a lot of land and everything. So yeah, keep an eye on this person. All right. So Canute, okay, Canute says we have options. Okay, no, wait a minute. What does he say? Yeah, Gunnar says that people will not be happy about it and they may revolt. And Canute says part of governing is making sure that doesn't happen. And then we get a little narration of how, the funds are low, cost of maintaining uh, the army. Here we go. Canute kept a Danish force directly under his control, stationed there. So keeping that, army with him is kind of draining most of his funds. And that's making people not happy about the situation. A lot of people are like, oh, what, taking, more taxes from us. However, he himself has like a, a guard, an army stationed with him. And so here Gunnar says something that I was also thinking. He's like, why are you not taking out the army? Why are you not reducing it? But Canute says, like, oh, I couldn't do that because these are Danish people, and no, I think that's what he says. Okay, here we go. This is out of the question. I'm the conqueror and a Dane. The English will never look favorably upon me. Yeah, and an army under my direct control is what allows me to govern this way. Interesting. So basically, what he's saying is, like, since I'm a conqueror, the English will never look at me in a proper way. So, trying to please them to take out my army is going to counter affect me, because my army is what makes me take, control of this place. Me having a proper army is something that is making me a conqueror. Since the England, the English will never really kind of like me, since I'm a conqueror, I have to keep my army with me. Okay, it's a tricky situation if you think about it. I did not realize what he was trying to say here while reacting. I can understand now. So basically, that's the problem. He can easily take his army out, but then obviously a few of the people might be a little bit happy, but it wouldn't really make him more popular because he is a conqueror. He came from somewhere outside and conquered this place. So obviously the people will never be happy with him. So doing that or keeping his army with him and keeping his army happy is a better choice here, because obviously his army is people who he can trust, and those people also trust him, that type of thing. So reducing them here is no question. He's a conqueror and he should be a conqueror up until the end. And being a conqueror means always keeping his army and his soldiers with him. Reducing them is, there's no way he can do that. And so here Canute says that we need to bring more land under control. That will gain some profit. However, if we bring some land under our control, it will take some time for the harvest to come out. So we don't have that time. So what we do is requisition land. Take land which has already have a lot of harvest and stuff, and which is already profitable. Take them, seize them, that type of thing. So that is the only way. And obviously he's going to do that to the rich people, a few people that Gunnar has kind of taken out and recommended them, and obviously Kettle is on the top of the list. So anyways, after that we see Kettle has reached the place, and Thorgil is there. And Thorgil informed him that King Harald is dead. Now obviously Kettle is his hand is in his head, and Kettle is like, oh my god, what should I do now? Where should I give my I have so many tributes with me and everything. Like, we already know he's freaking out because that's basically Kettle. He gives gave this tribute to King Harold so that under his direct protection his farm can fall, so that nobody messes with him, and that type of thing. So he's freaking out now, and then he's like, wait a minute, Thorgil, you're here. So that means King Canute is here because you work directly under King Canute. And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, all right. So can you please let me go and meet King Canute? Like King Harold is not there, so let me go and kind of try to convince him to help us out. So Thorgil's like, all right, fine. I'm going to do that. Either way, I love how Kettle is like, where's Olmar? And he's like, Olmar is gone. And he's like, oh, why did you let him go? He's going to make a whole mess out of the whole situation. And I love how his dad completely just narrates what he's going to do. He's like, oh, by this time he must have bumped into someone and already making a trouble out there. And that's exactly what he's doing as we switch, the thing. Now here's the thing. Obviously, you can see Thorgil is like, dad, like he's 20. Let him go. He's not a kid anymore. Now, he's been pampered too much. I wouldn't call it pampering, but his dad, kind of just, kept him in, his whole little thing so much. Didn't let him, see the outside world and everything. Like, he's like this now. Like, he's like bratty. Whenever any type of trouble happens, he just brings up like, oh, my dad is this, my dad is that, typical person who like a bratty person, a self-entitled person. He's basically that now. And this the fact that he acts like this, and the fact that he doesn't really choose his opponents properly. Like he makes trouble with each and every person. That in itself is so scary to his dad, I can feel like, because Kettle always thinks like, oh my god, my son must have gotten into a troublesome situation, and god forbid if the person he's messing with is someone who is crazy, like some kind of a crazy person. He'll just just beat him up, or like direct kill him or something. Like I can see, and this is this is back in those days, Norsemen, Danish people, everyone's people who are extremely strong and extremely hot-headed. They're just walking around everywhere. Just imagine him bumping into someone like that and trying to mess with him, and he just gives him such a whack that he goes into concussion directly. That'll be it. That'll be it. And I can see why his dad is concerned, but at the same time, he's kind of the problem that he's like this now. Always trying to constrain him, and trying to make him do what he himself deems proper. Like you've seen how Kettle is like, oh no, you're not going to do this. You're going to farm, while Kettle Olmar never really wanted to farm. He wanted to go outside, see the world, while his dad constantly shackled him. This is the thing. Like if you try to stop someone from doing something, they're going to try to do it even more. So as soon as he got to a proper age, I feel like his dad should have given him a decent bit of freedom and let him see the world on his own. That type of thing. But either way, what can you do? What's done is done. And yeah. Anyways, so yeah, now we go to Olmar, and we see Olmar has already bumped into someone. Now this is so funny because I was looking at this guy who he bumped to, and I was like, he looks so much like Thorfinn, kind of, you know. And I didn't really mention it. I was like, it kind of looks like Thorfinn, but then I was like, you know what? Like most of the people, here are like Norsemen, that type of. So yeah, maybe it doesn't really it's not that surprising how they look so similar. I didn't realize that there was an actual reason why he looked so much like Thorfinn. So they start having this quarrel, and Except, like, if you take out his eyes, he's so much like Thorfinn. He looks exactly like Thorfinn. Anyways, Olmar is like making like a whole fuss about this situation, and he's like, "Oh, you know who I am?" And he takes out his sword. When Thorfinn was trying to go attack him, he takes out his sword, and I'm like, "Dude, like you're embarrassing yourself. Don't take out a sword in a fist fight. Like, what are you doing? You're making a fool out of yourself. Stop that." And especially in this type of a situation, like in this world where like might is everything. This is that type of world where might is everything. You're making a fool out of yourself. You're taking out a sword when a person is trying to go and punch you. Anyways, and he's like, like, he's like, he's like, it just means that you're not a real Norseman if you're not really. And Kettle is just there. Kettle's like, let me ask you this. Who do you think bought you that? And he just punches him and he's like, you idiot son, what are you doing? And he's like, Dad, leave me alone. And then Kettle gives the guy like a pouch of money. He's like, yeah, you okay, kid? Take this. And he's like, oh, it's fine. Pocketing it, but in comes Leaf, and he's like oh, stop that, like give him the money back. And as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh my god, this is Leaf. And then I was like, damn, so Leaf has a son. Like, from here onwards, there was like a series of surprises that caught me off guard, one after the other. So the surprises begin. First of all, I was surprised to see Leaf here, and then I'm like, okay, like Leaf is here, so this is Leaf's son. Then we see them talking to talking to each other, Kettle and Leaf. And here we get to know that he's adopted. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, he's adopted. And is that why he looks so much like Thorfinn? Because he's trying to find someone who looks like Thorfinn. And I'm like, okay, makes sense. Like, I was kind of connecting the dots. I'm like, all right, that's why maybe he looks so much like Thorfinn. It's not a coincidence he looks so much like Thorfinn. It's deliberate. And then another surprise catches me off guard. He's like, come on, introduce yourself. And he's like, oh, my name is Thorfinn. Thank you for earlier. And I'm like, what? So his name is also Thorfinn. Now I can kind of understand why that's the case. So what I could gather, what I could guess from this, it's most probably Leaf was looking for Thorfinn, and he probably asked someone like, "Oh, have you seen this person? Like it looks like this. This has this type of hair. And explained what he looks like, and says like his name is Thorfinn. Do you know someone like that?" And the dude was probably like, "Oh yeah, I know one kid. He looks exactly like you said, and his name is Thorfinn. Come with me." And he came and brought him to this kid who looks exactly like Thorfinn, and his name is also Thorfinn. And Leaf was like, oh my god, this is not the person that I wanted. But then he probably felt bad for him. I'm guessing he was probably like a slave or something. So he was like, oh, I'm going to adopt him, or something like that happened, I'm guessing. So makes sense, like he was looking for Thorfinn. So he probably mistook and went and saw that this is not Thorfinn, but then adopted him nonetheless. So something like that happened. And he himself kind of explains that. He was like, Dad, it must be the same thing that happened when you met me. Which kind of makes sense that, because he was looking for Thorfinn. Either way, so I liked how they were having a whole conversation. And Leaf, the first thing that Leaf does is oh no, sorry, hearing the name Thorfinn, Kettle was surprised. Kettle's like, oh damn, I also have someone in my place called Thorfinn. Looks exactly like him, kind of. And Leaf then is like, okay, so what's his is he like a slave? And he little by little starts asking him more questions, and more Kettle answers the question. Leaf is kind of like, oh, maybe this is actually Thorfinn this time. And so one thing he asks is like, oh, did he say where he lived, like from? Did he mention that he's from Iceland? And that, and he's a warrior. But The thing is, Kettle never asked any of those questions to him, so he doesn't know. The only person who kind of knows about this is Einar. So Kettle has no idea. Kettle's like, oh, unfortunately I don't know about that. And then Leaf kind of explains the situation, talks about Thorfinn, what happened, and like, just a minute. So then I'm guessing he kind of Leaf kind of decided to go and, like, see. Oh, wait a minute. Let me read that part where Thorfinn was like this Thorfinn. Yeah, when Kettle mentions that I've seen numerous scars left by Bless all over his body, you know. Yeah, Thorfinn says that don't get your hopes up. It's probably just like what happened with me. There you go. He kind of says that. So, like I said, it must mean that while looking for Thorfinn, he came across him. And I'm not exactly sure if this guy was like a slave or something, or maybe he had just met him. But definitely he was looking for Thorfinn and came across him because his name is also Thorfinn and he looks extremely like Thorfinn. And then he probably adopted him. Either way, so Leaf went to, like, the boat which he came here with, and he's like, oh, like, let's go to Kettle's place. And the boatsman is like, oh no, I'm definitely not going there. It's going to take a long time. 5 days to go, 5 days to come back. Like, it's like 10 days. Like, in no way am I going to do that. And he's not happy. He's like, this has happened before as well, Leaf. Like, you try to find Thorfinn, like, it's never him. This time it's also probably a bust. So I'm not doing it. And he's not happy. Like, he's not ready to go there. So now we don't see what happens after that, but I'm guessing Leaf will not give up. He's definitely going to go because Leaf is that type of person. I can see that. And like, this is the person who was like sailing the seas, who was talking about Vinland. Like a sailor, a person like him never gives up. So I think he's probably going to find some way or the other to go to Kettle's place. But it looks like Kettle's place will have a lot of trouble from here because the whole thing with Canute that happens after that. So again, like, conflict is coming. And again, Leaf is like, if Leaf actually goes to Kettle's place, they're going to get mixed up into some weird stuff. Like, either way, Thorgil has, like, asked Canute to meet him. So Kettle is there ready to meet King Canute. And what's his name? Kettle is like, damn, like, Thorgil, you're pretty influential, aren't you? Like, you just asked him and he got ready to meet me? And he's supposed to be the king. And Thorgil is like, oh, like, I was surprised about that. Makes sense because Canute is planning something, and yeah, for that they need to at least meet. So that's why probably Canute, like, took this opportunity to meet Kettle. So Kettle goes in and like, kind of bows in front of the king, and he's like, oh, like, these are my stuff. And Canute is like, damn, these are some good stuff, like, what, no worries, like, King Harold, like, gave you protection, like, this has been going on. I don't have any, like, ideas to change that. So don't worry, like, you keep the things coming, I'm going to keep giving you protection, just like it was happening up until now. So Kettle's pretty, like, kind of relieved, and Kettle's like, oh, thank God. Olmar stands up, and Olmar is like, can you let me in your, like, army? And I was thinking, what the hell is he trying to do? But then I remembered, oh yeah, this kid wanted to go and work under King Canute. And he actually says, like, oh, can you give me the same position and as, like, my brother? I think that's what he says. Like, just a minute. I have a request. Ideally serving as your guard alongside my brother. There you go. That's what he says. I love how Thorgil is like, what the hell is my brother saying? While Kettle is like, this fool son of mine, and like, Olmar is like, I can show you my swordsman's skill, and he takes out his sword. Now, here's the thing. I feel like this is one thing you should never do in front of a king, is that take out your sword. If there's any guards here stationed, immediately they'd lop Olmar's head off. This would be like, this would be a sign of aggression. Even if he was not, like, going to attack Canute, he was just going to show his sword, in no way in front of a king you should take out your sword. That's That's basic knowledge. I feel like that's like common sense. I feel like, and this guy, he just tries to take out his sword. Thankfully, no one was here. No guards were here. Proper guards were here. Only Gunnar was there, and a few other guards were there. And Canute was just sitting down. So there was no people who did anything tried to stop Olmar. Kettle's dad, not Kettle's dad. What am I saying? Olmar's dad, Kettle, obviously tried to stop him, from taking out the sword from his sheath. But yeah, other than that, it was fine. But that was dangerous. You should never do that in front of a king. You're in front of a king. You should not take out your weapon like that in front of him. Either way, Canute is like, all right, fine. You want to work under me? Come, show me your skills. And everyone's surprised. Now, obviously, everyone can understand why Canute is doing this. He wants a connection, some sort of connection with the Kettles, with the Kettle family. Obviously, Thorgil is here, but Olmar is a better person to trick here. So he's as soon as he saw that he's actually presenting an opportunity to Canute grabbed that, and that's why he's like, all right, show me your skill. So I love how he brings out a pig, a roasted pig, and he's like, cut this, and Olmar's like, all right, I'm gonna do it, and I guess he probably haven't really learned swordsmanship. That's why the first thing he does is he takes the sword in one hand and he's doing like this. Okay, as far as I know, I don't think you should do that. I feel like you should use both your hands. Using sword in one hand is something that characters in anime do. Like in actual swords fight, I think at least you're supposed to have a sword with grab a sword with both your hands so that you can get more strength. I don't know, I don't know anything about swordsmanship, but my basic knowledge at least tells me this, that you should definitely not try to use a sword with one hand. Use both your hands, but this, he's like this, he does that, and I'm pretty sure at first he tried to chop it off with one hand, failed miserably, then he grabbed with his both hand and is sawing it now. Like this. I love how he's making such weird noises. Everyone comes from outside and everyone's like, what's happening? Who's screaming inside? And it's everyone's surprised. Thorgil is just oh my god, this brother of mine. And Kettle is double face palming. It's this stupid kid. Canute is stop. I understand what you're you stay here, I'll notify you tomorrow about my decision. He said that, and obviously everyone's surprised. Why would he even give this kid an opportunity? But yeah, it makes sense. He's planning to use him, so there you go. Now, I love how Kettle just went home and is crying in his bed while Olmar is just crying in front of his brother, and his brother's you stupid brother of mine, what have you done? And then he's like, okay, what's done is done, just don't make a fool of yourself from here onwards. And later on we get to know more about the plan. Canute is obviously these type of people, there's plenty of them. They're prideful, but they have no skills, so they're not of any use. But then he says, but this time he'll be of use. What about the plan? Let's proceed the plan. So obviously the plan is to make use of Olmar, and requisition Kettle's farm. And in the end, Canute says that he'd surely act as we expect him to. Gunnar says, shall we proceed with the plan? And he says, yes, the coronation hasn't happened yet, but we shouldn't let this opportunity pass us by. And he says, if it's so, the people can live in peace. I feel for them, but they must pay the price of being too rich, you know. Gettys farm will be the first prerequisition. So there you go. And they're going to make use of Olma some way or the other. I'm not sure how he's going to do that, but let's see. Let's see. And yeah, he's definitely planning to trick him. Poor kid, you know. Either way, and that was it. That was this episode. And now this a lot of things happening here. First of all, Canute will probably move to Kettle's place. Not exactly sure what he's going to do, how he's going to do it. Like, will he like directly be like, "Oh, give me your land," that type of thing, and start like like a battle with Kettle's men, or is he going to take more of a diplomatic approach, or is he going to take more of a what's that word, like a approach which is going to trick them, or like in that way is he going to do it? Like, not exactly sure how he's going to do it, but he's definitely going to do something with the land. That's the first thing that's happening. Second thing that's happening is Thorfinn and Einar is there. Thorfinn is there, and Canute is. If Canute goes to Kettle's farm, that'll be interesting. Another thing that's happening is Leaf is also involved in this now. Now Leaf plans to go to Kettle's farm as well. So everything's like coming together. So let's see. Let's see how this goes. Anyways, that was it. That was episode number 11 of Vinland Saga Season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Vinland Saga. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.